It is time for Memorial Day weekend, which means for many people marking the beginning of summer and all the fun. However, we cannot forget that COVID-19 is still in our communities. In today's 2-Year Well-Being, we're talking about how to reduce your risk for COVID-19 and enjoy that summer fun. So Cone Health's Infection Prevention Medical Director, Dr. Cynthia Snyder, is joining us to talk about that. Let's talk about what's the #1 step that we can do to reduce our risk for COVID-19 and enjoy all those activities like we would like to do.
So the one word is vaccines. So we know that folks who are older than 65, we've had about 75% of our population vaccinated, fully vaccinated. And now for those who are older than 65, and now we need to work on those who are 18 and older, and even kids who are now approved who are 12 and up can get the vaccine. And the fastest we can get those shots in our arms, I think the easier it is to resume a life of what we considered as what we previously had as being felt like normal over a year ago. And the cases are so reassuring right now. You know, we've had a 30% decrease over the last 2 weeks in the cases in North Carolina and hospitalizations. So there's so many good things happening, and we really need to take advantage of the tools we have to protect our community.
And continue to see those decreasing numbers, right? Because that means more normalcy when we see that. So some people may view the new CDC guidelines about masks and social distancing as a way for everyone to enjoy all summer activities kind of like we used to. So is that the case? And if not, where do we need to be looking for the differences?
I know. I think when everybody heard about the fact that fully vaccinated folks don't have to wear masks now, in most certain instances, it feels like a lot of relief. We know that being outdoors is very safe, and then being with your others who are vaccinated is also safe. Still being, I would say, in a larger group or attending a concert or where you have a very large gathering that's indoors, it's still best to wear a mask, but I think it gives you a lot of liberty. And, you know, we are social creatures, and I think a lot of folks want to go back out, have dinner with their friends, socialize and party, like summer parties, and we can get there as long as everybody gets vaccinated.
Mm-hmm. So let's kind of review risk levels for summer activities with vaccination status and mask recommendations. Once you're fully vaccinated, what type of summer activities would be considered perfectly safe to participate in with more normalcy?
So I think outdoor activities such as going swimming, having outdoor barbecues, I think playing sports outdoors, all that is considered safe.
Okay, and what restrictions should we be keeping in mind even if we are vaccinated?
So if somebody is immunocompromised, you know, either who is undergoing cancer therapy or who may have had like an organ transplant, we feel like the risks are still, we don't know how well the vaccine works with certain populations with immune deficiency, so it's important to wear a mask. And the flip side is that if you have a family member that's, you know, undergoing chemotherapy and such, that, you know, that's what I would want friends to, if they're coming over, to be wearing a mask.
Okay.
So the risks are mostly indoors.
Indoors. Okay. So if you're not fully vaccinated, then what type of summer activities would be considered at a higher risk for those who are not vaccinated?
So that's the clutch thing again, is that if you're not vaccinated, COVID, you know, a lot of times is a very can be mildly symptomatic, and so you don't know if you're going to be meeting somebody that can transmit it onto you if you don't have your masks on, and so the risks are much greater if you're not vaccinated, and especially if you want to entertain, like going, you know, to get meals at a restaurant that's crowded, or going to a bar and such. Those things end up to be probably pretty risky.
For an unvaccinated person?
Correct, for an unvaccinated person.
All right, so it's kind of like sometimes it's easier to say, when do you need to wear a mask? When don't you need a mask?
I'm sorry, say that again.
When do you need to wear a mask? When don't you need to wear a mask?
So if you are unvaccinated, you should always be wearing a mask. An indoor, even I would say, even when you're going to a friend's house who you don't know their vaccine status, you can't assume that the folks that you're with, unless you know. And so I think that indoor setting, meeting up in bars and gyms and restaurants, all that can be very risky if you're unvaccinated. If you're vaccinated, you have that buffer of protection. And especially so if you're with others that are vaccinated, it makes the risks very low.
Okay. All right. So we were talking about many COVID related things going on this summer, but you know what? Health is beyond COVID, believe it or not, right? Can you give us a few non-COVID safety measures and health things that we need to be thinking about?
So just in general, with the summer that comes on, we're starting to see people with tick-borne illnesses like tick bites. So always, if you're going out, going hiking, playing gardening or playing with your kids, ensuring that you're spraying, like using bug spray for tick bite prevention, and also looking for tick bites after you've been out in the woods. And then also kind of the key things of when people go out for picnics, making sure your food stays relatively cold so nobody gets any kind of food poisoning. But in terms of I think, with spring and all the rates of COVID going down and the vaccine uptake we're having, this is really a breath of fresh air. And we need to keep up with that momentum. And the fact that more people have access to getting the vaccine is so important. So I think go to your local websites, at conehealth.com/vaccines. They'll list some sites. The FEMA site's still open for another 3 days. It's available at grocery stores and drugstores. So, and the fact that your 12-year-olds and up can get it. So we have this really crucial time to getting our families and our kids back into a daily routine of fun, of what summer's about.
And we want that daily routine of fun for sure. Okay, we are going to continue now to take your text questions. Dr. Snyder's going to be with us until 6. This is how you get her the question. You text the question, 336-379-5775. We'll be right back.